Del, can you make Monica co-host, please?
Good evening, everyone. We're back. We're back to another Healthy Communities seminar. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for taking your time and coming for another hour and a half of life-changing information. I'm so excited this evening. I'm so excited. I can smell the delicious food. I can't wait for Kathleen to show us what she's doing for us. Like I do every single night, like I do absolutely every single night, here's what I want you to do. If you're tuning in and you're here for the first time, the very first time, so this is the first time that you're ever coming to this meeting, I want you to put a number 1 in the chat. The very first time that you're here, put a number 1 in the chat. If you've been here all this week, then I want you to put a number 2 in the chat. So if this is your first meeting, a number 1. If you've been here just this week, number 2. And if you've been here from last week and you're with us this week, then I want you to put a number 3. And what I would like you to do also, if you don't mind, is let us know where you're calling in from. Where are you listening in from? Are you in Manchester? Are you in a different city? Are you in a different country? It's just really nice to know where everyone's coming from. What else can I say? In fact, here's what I want to say. I received 2 messages this week, today actually, yesterday and today, that 2 of our listeners have been trying or have made one made a chia pudding and one made the quiche, but with sunflower seeds, not cashew nuts. I wish I could show you the pictures, but I can't. But it's so good to know that people are using the information and trying the recipes and achieving good results. So this evening, we've got another breakfast, lunch, dinner. I don't want to take too much away because I know that Kathleen is ready to go, raring to go. But before we start, please, I just want to, I know I reiterate it every single evening. I know I put it on every single evening, but I do need you to please keep your mics muted when Kathleen is doing her presentation. You can put your questions in the chat. The chat is being monitored, and we have our chat moderator again, Basil. He's here, so if you put your questions in the chat, he will be able to see them, and he will be able to ask Kathleen. So your questions will be asked live. But please, 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 please put your mics on mute. Don't unmute yourself and just ask your question. And I tell you the reason why. When we're doing the editing in YouTube, it's very difficult to take that noise out or that question out. So we want to make it as nice and as beautiful as we can for everybody that's going to watch. Not just everyone that's on Zoom and watching live, but everyone that's going to watch on the restream. So with that being said, let me pray and I'll hand over to Kathleen for our Kathleen'z plant-based cooking classes. Father in heaven, we want to thank you so much for what you've done. Thank you again for bringing us to another evening where we can enjoy learning about how to make healthy, nutritious, plant-based foods. We thank you for the bodies that you've given to us, and you have told us what is the best fuel to put inside of this body. So please, Father, I pray that you'll make us attentive. I pray that you'll be with Kathleen, and at the end of this hour and a half, like every other night we've joined together, our lives will be changed. This I pray in Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Kathleen, it's over to yourself.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. It's nice to know that some people have been trying the recipes and enjoying them. So thank you, and I urge you, and listen to the word urge you, to try some of them because they are really tasty. Simple ingredients are being used and they're readily available on the local supermarkets. Yes, there are some specialist ingredients, but once you have them in the house, you can use them for the dishes that we're going to prepare. So without further ado, the first meal is going to be the breakfast meal. And I've chosen this evening, the Hawaiian baked cereal. So we might be able to get the recipes up so people can either see it, read it, but again, it will be on the website. Boil it and then turn it down, and then I cover it because I like my rice cooked from the top and from the bottom. So I'm going to seal the pan with, first of all, I put greaseproof paper on because I don't want to put metal next to my food, because when it steams it'll drop into the pan and then you're eating some of the residue from the foil, from the metal. We don't want that. So I will then make sure the greaseproof paper, or you can use wax paper if you'd like, Make sure the paper's not too big because you don't want it to catch the flame of your fire if it's gas or electricity. We don't want a hazard, or we want to prepare for that. And pop it in, and then make sure it's still covered with the foil. And then what I'll do is I'll get the lid, and you need a pan lid that seals the pan. So I press it down, it's totally sealed.
Kathleen, Marlene's asking, what did you do with the rice?
What did I do with the rice?
What did you do with the rice?
To cook it before? Well, with my rice, I'll pop it in the oven for a good 4 to 5 hours before I use it, and then I pop it in my jar. So when I come to use it, I will then, I'll then be ready for cooking the way I'm doing now. So it kills some of the, it starts cooking some and breaking down some of the starches in the food. So I'll cook it in the oven with most of my grains. I'll cook first like that for 4 to 5 hours in the oven. So it just helps to break down some of the phytic acid, I think it is, in order for your body to digest it easier. So I don't just put the rice on its own. All my grains go in. So the rice, the cornmeal, the buckwheat. The only thing I don't put in is quinoa because that doesn't need it. But yeah, everybody goes in, and it stays in for 4 to 5 hours, and I stir it every now and again, and then that's me done. And then I just pop it in its storage jars like this one.
Foxy was asking, did you say that the rice was already washed and cooked?
Well, yes, yes,
it was already
beforehand.
washed and
Yeah,
cooked.
because it would take too long to do that. I'd be in and out of the kitchen. So yeah, if you want proof, I'll put it on my hand and you'll see the water.
How long would you cook it for?
It's wet. The rice is wet because I've washed it, and there's the water at the bottom. Yeah, so it's brown whole grain rice. How long to cook it for? Well, I seal it and wait for it because it's already cooked to some degree. So I've had it in the oven beforehand, and obviously when I've cooked it for 4 hours, I take it out, it cools, and I put it in my storage jar. So when I'm ready to use it, like instance of today, I can then cook it for 20-30 minutes. Now I know brown rice does take longer to cook, so I will check it after maybe 15 minutes. So long as you've got enough water in there, you can add a bit more because it does take a bit more water. So just check it after 15 minutes. It's already boiled. Turn it on a low heat and then let it simmer and stir. So some rices I've noticed, even brown rice, takes longer to cook than others. Depends on the brand, and it depends on your oven and your stovetop, gas, electricity. But you'll know the brand that you make, and then you can judge how long it takes then. If it needs more water, put more water in, but try not to stir it too much. So I'm going to now do the tofu dressing. Okay, we've got a bit of a tofu pineapple going on tonight. So I'm just getting everything ready for you to see.
Excuse me, we actually just received
tofu mayonnaise.
When you said,
is there something? Comment? No. Okay.
Yeah. She said that she just received a message, but she knows that platform.
Okay.
Can you also answer?
Fine.
Did you watch
I'll carry on because I think
before or after the rice
we're going to
was
be,
baked?
if we're not interrupted. So we have here the tofu mayonnaise. Now I use this on salad dressing, so I'll do a salad, lettuce, cucumber, sweet peppers, and this will be a dressing that I put on top. So I then will use a 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds. Sorry, a 1/3 of a cup, sorry. Let me just take this off. There we go. Of sunflower seeds. I think we showed you them before, so pop it in here. Yeah. In the bowl, in the blender. Then we have, or you could use cashews if you wanted to. Then we have silken tofu. Again, the nori knew the tofu one because it does give a smooth blend. Just cut the top off this. Pop it in. Then the next thing is a little bit of lemon juice. Now I don't have a lot of this, so I just do, it says 2.5, but I'm going to just put a little bit in to give a bit of a tart flavour. And a little bit of salt. And I'm going to put half first, maybe less than half because it's a bit much, because this Himalayan salt tends to be a little bit stronger than the normal white salt. So I'm going to put less than a quarter, and I can adjust accordingly later on. And then I'll put a little bit of stock in here as well, the bouillon, the vegetable one, or one of your choice. And again, that's got a little bit of salt in it, so be careful with that. Then I'm going to put some garlic powder. You can put the real thing if you'd like, but I'm going to use the dry powder if we don't want it too wet. So again, this is half a teaspoon. In we go. More if you like, but it's your choice. And then I'm going to blend. I'm going to find the lid. Now it will need a little bit of pushing down because I've not got much juice in there. If it needs a little bit of juice, I will do. I've got to plug it in. That does help. There we go. I need to push it down a little bit. Oh, a 1/3 cup of water. I forgot the water. No wonder it's not stirring. So a little bit of water. Yeah. There we go. That's better. It's moving now. I'm just going to blend it down, but as you can see, it's blending nicely. Just going to push it down a little bit so it all gets nicely incorporated. In there, blend again. Yeah, that's nice and creamy. There we go. I'm going to blend it a little bit more because I think some of the sunflower seeds are still not incorporated. And at this point, I'm going to add some cayenne pepper just to give it a little bit of a thing. Again, that's optional if you'd like not to add that. That's fine. And it's to your taste. So I'm only going to put a little bit because this is quite a strong one. So a 1/4 teaspoon, if that. There we go. we'll be done now. So it's still moving. And it will set a little bit more, but I'm just going to get a cup. I'll pour it into this. I think my cup. You'll see the thickness of it. As I just wipe the table a little bit. Move this out of the way. Oops. There we go.
Kathleen,
Yeah.
Marlene's just asking, how long can you keep it for?
1 second. I'd say 2 to 3 days. You can sprinkle it on your salads, or I think some people have baked with it before, but yeah, 2 to 3 days, I'd say, because everything's fresh, as long as it needs to be stored in the refrigerator so that it doesn't go off, perish before it's time. So that's the consistency, like a thick cream or custard. Okay, so I'll pop that in the kitchen and then we can have some more. See? But yeah, that's tofu mayonnaise, which I would then, excuse me, pour over some a salad, or drizzle over, depending on your preference.
It's a H. Reynolds, Kathleen, asking, are you from the islands because you like the peppers bad?
No, no. There we go. Just drizzle over at your leisure. Okay. And for you guys, I managed to find the bulgur wheat. It wasn't in the shop. So what I've done is I've just boiled some bulgur wheat. Beluga lentils. What am I saying? Beluga lentils. And I've just popped some in the salad. And that would be a meal, a lunchtime meal. Yeah, so we've got avocado, some lettuce, different leaves, and sweet peppers and a tomato. So you could choose which one you'd like to add. So the world's your oyster. So I'll pop that in the kitchen. There we go. Whichever, yeah. Just move some of these away, out of the way. For the next one, would that be something you could try and do? Very simple. Just blend everything together. So you could use your pumpkin seeds for that. As I said, the cashew nuts as well are an option. And also, very quick, easy recipe. Not too hard for anyone to do. Oh, I forgot to show you the rice and peas, didn't I? Oh dear, what am I like? There we go. Just wipe some of this. Too much mess. That's fine. So, rice and peas here. There we go. Give it a stir. So that's the rice and peas with the black beans, remember. There we go. And that's the whole grain rice, not just the brown rice. Remember, it's got to be the whole grain because that's got still the fibre on the outside.
Where can you get some whole grain rice?
Supermarkets sell it.
Tesco?
Tesco's, Asda, Sainsbury's, Lidl, I think they sell it. And most of the Asian shops sell it in abundance. I tend to get it in bulk because it's cheaper. It's something I use quite regularly. So anything I use quite regularly, like the tofus, and as you've seen some of the packages that I've shown you, they are large because they're something I use all the time, and I'd rather be cost effective if you buy it in bulk. It's generally slightly cheaper than buying it in smaller quantities, especially if it's something that you've got all the time. Yep, so that's the whole grain brown rice with black beans, and you can't even see the onions. So if you want to cheat and hide the onions and the garlic from children who think, oh, I don't like onions or I don't like garlic, it's hidden. So it's quite good to kind of give them a healthier meal with it incorporated in if they don't eat onions or garlic in any other form if they see it on the plate. So that's the brown rice, whole grain brown rice.
Veronica, this was earlier on, was asking, we didn't see the rice and beans final comments the last couple of minutes, I think. So can you?
Oh, the comments?
Yeah, can you just maybe repeat what you said earlier on?
I think we said we could buy it in various stores. It's readily available, and it tends to be cheaper if you buy it in bulk. I buy or use this regularly, so I'll try and buy it in bulk. And from any of the Asian stores, they sell it quite in abundance, rice. So I've used the black beans in this one rather than the kidney beans, which is the traditional way for some countries, some of the Caribbean countries. But I've used black beans in this, and I was saying about hiding the onions if it's needed. If you've got children who don't like onions or garlic in their food, you can disguise it, I should say, disguise it in the rice, and you can't see it at all. It's incorporated as it's been baked.
Yeah. Veronica's asking, do you rinse the rice before or after baking?
The rice?
Do you rinse the rice before or after baking?
I wash it before, yes, before. Yeah, I tend to wash everything before.
Okay.
Because I don't. Some people might put the rice in a big pan with lots of water, boil it and cook it, and then throw off that water. But I tend to wash it first thoroughly and make sure there's no stones, because sometimes you can get stones in the rice as well as in the beans. And then I will then pop it in the pan because it's already washed. But I know there's two different ways of cooking rice. One is with a lot of water first, then draining that off after it's been cooked. But I prefer to wash it first, and then I can use it straight away with the things that I'm incorporating in with it. Yeah. Good question. I forgot about that, the different ways of cooking rice. So I'm popping that there. Okay. Right, so the next one is I'm going to make a pie with some vegetables, which I've already prepared, and some lentils. Now, thank you. I've already done some of the vegetables because it was quicker to steam them before we cook them. So in the bowl, as you can see, I've got some cauliflower, some carrots and broccoli already steamed and prepared. And what I'm going to do, because I was going to make an aubergine pie, but I've changed my mind, and the recipe's there for the aubergine. But I must confess, aubergine's not my favourite fruit. It really isn't. I do struggle, but I've had it, and I'm lingering with it because I do like. I think ratatouille I can sometimes eat, and that's chopped aubergines or eggplant, some people call it. But I've decided to change and say, right, okay, I'm going to have a vegetable one. But there is protein in your broccoli, and obviously I like carrots, vitamin A, and and I can never say this word, cruciferous. Oh yes, that's it, I've got it. Those vegetables, which are your broccoli and your cauliflower, good cancer fighting food. So as you see, I've got lots of them in there, and I like it, so I'm having it.
That you steam them.
Yes.
Was there a particular reason for that? Why don't you just put them in raw?
Oh, I've never tried it. I don't know whether it'd cook thoroughly. That's why I've not tried putting them in. And I feel we need to cook them so that they're tender, so they can be digested. But I've never popped them in raw because they only take, 5-10 minutes steaming, if that. Because obviously you can feel these. They're still quite firm in some parts because I'm going to put them in the... So if you feel that one, there's still a bit of a bite to it. Yeah, so they've been steamed and there's still some bite to them. So when they go in the oven with what I'm going to make now, it will still hold its shape and we'll still have some of the nutrients in it. So in here, I'm going to blend these, and you can see I've got some. I'm going to make a kind of a sauce to bind it in and then pop it in the dish. So I've got some lentils that have been boiled already. These are the yellow lentils, or red lentils, some people call them. Some onions, which are there, and the garlic. So I've just put a mixture in there. And then I've not really made the quantities, but I've kind of gauged it. So I will try and make the quantities and make it obvious for you all when I've done. Let's get the blender. And we're going to blend it. So it's going to make a sauce to go in the vegetables. My spatula to put it in. Oopsie daisy. Might need some water in here just to make it move in the blender. And I'll put some bouillon in there. So again, probably a tablespoon. When I find it, here it is. Some flavour, or you could just put salt if you wanted to. So a tablespoon in here. There we go. I'm just going to blend with a bit of water, just to see how it goes, because I don't want it too wet, because I want it to bind the ingredients together. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Still moving, yeah, that's as thick as I want it. So yeah, so I've par cooked the lentils beforehand, or fully cooked them because they're nice and blended in here now. Bit more blending, I think, just to be smooth. Move that out of the way. And then I'm going to pour it on to coat the vegetables. Some of the vegetables will spring water anyway whilst it's cooking, so we don't want it'll thin the lentil sauce, as it were. Again, you taste the lentil sauce and see if it's to your liking. You can add more bouillon or just salt or some other flavours if you like. But I'm tending not to taste things as I go along because I'll be tasting quite a lot of things each evening. So I tend not to taste as we go along, but kind of just use my eye. So, oops. Let's use a spoon, it might be a better idea. There we go. Just coat everything. A bit more sauce on. So. So we're just being creative really here with the lentils. And I like lentils, so I don't mind them in any shape or form. So get some on here.
There's a H. Reynolds saying, could you use chickpeas instead of hummus?
Instead of hummus?
Yeah.
We've not got hummus here. Hummus is chickpeas blended with tahini and some flavours and lemon juice. So we've not used chickpeas here, but I guess you could do if you wanted to. But you'd have to cook your chickpeas first. But I've never baked hummus. I've always had it cold. So I just need a bit more sauce. Or you could do a cashew cheese sauce and add it in here instead of the lentils. Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure I've got the right sauce here. Yeah. I made some earlier because I don't think I've got enough in here. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Coat it nicely. And I guess you could bake it like this without anything on top. But what I did was, let me just move this out of the way. Make this a bit clearer so I know where I'm going. That's better. I don't like sticky hands. Right, so I made some earlier and popped it in a dish, but I did make some pastry. Now, I think I demonstrated the pastry a couple of nights ago, but I can tell you the ingredients if that can be flashed up before you. So I've popped the broccoli, the cauliflower, the carrots with the lentil sauce in a dish, but at the bottom of the dish I have made some of the pastry that we made before. I think it's the flaky, was it the flaky paste or the pie crust? Whole wheat pie crust. I think we're just bringing it up now. And that had in it whole wheat pastry flour, oat flour, and blended with a little bit of salt and water and a bit of olive oil and some lecithin. Remember I said it added the lecithin. So that gave it a bit of a healthy fat option as well. And I think it made the pastry more moist as well. So I've got some pastry here. It's not an easy pastry to roll out because I chilled it before, so it's a bit crumbly. But at the base of it, I did just press it down with my hands. But I'm going to just place it on top now. So just be mindful that it will crumble because I wanted to just make sure I had it ready for you, already rolled out. So it will crumble, but that's fine. There we go. We got most of it on there. That's fine. And I'll patch it. There we go.
So this one's the
whole wheat pastry pie crust.
the nut crust.
No, whole wheat pie crust. So make that's in there. So I'm going to pretty it up by just cutting it a little bit to make it even. Now this is a bit thick, the pastry, so I would make it a little bit thinner. So I can, what I did was I just squeezed it a little bit to make it thinner.
Maria said it's authentic, homemade pie.
Yeah.
Homemade pie.
Yeah, none of these commercial stuff. It doesn't have to look pretty all the time, as I said, but I'm going to try and pretty it up. That's fine. It's live TV as well, so that's fine. So sometimes I crimp it with my fingers. That gives a nice edge.
And how do you crimp it again, please, Kathleen?
So your index finger and your thumb on one hand and your index finger on the other hand pushes in between as you go around. So that's the movement, the action I'm doing. And if you see, I'll do it all the way around like that. So, and a little bit of a squeeze as well. This is the pie crust. This is the same recipe for the pie crust that we did for the cashew quiche. So it's making it a little bit, a nice even pattern there. There we go. So that's not too bad. There we go. We're going to pop this in the oven. Oh, I forgot to say that when I put the pie crust at the bottom, you don't have to put it at the bottom. I also blind baked it for about 10 minutes as well to get that the base getting a bit firmer, because obviously when you add moisture it will start to get a little bit soggy. So, but it's still edible. But yeah, so this is quite a flaky pastry because it's very, very crumbly in that. So you can put a few, and then if you had time you could put some cut out some shapes in your pastry and then add it on to make it even prettier. Okay, so that's the carrot, cauliflower and broccoli pie with a lentil sauce. Yeah, so that's going in the oven. And let's see, will we have time? Yep. Just wipe the edges. Good. And it can go in the oven. Let's see how that goes. Thank you. In the oven at 170, 180, depending on your oven, for until it goes nice and golden brown, or you feel it's got a nice colour to it. Some people brush with a bit of milk. I'm not. I don't particularly need to. I don't know, but some people, you can do if you want to. Just clear this up. And then we'll do the next one, which will possibly be the last one, obviously. We won't have time for any more. Thank you. Move these out of the way. Right, the next one is going to be pineapple cheesecake. So I'm going to show you what I did for the base of the pineapple cheesecake. Let me see what we've got there. Let me just bring it up. Or tofu cheesecake, I should say. So let me bring them all into play. There we are. So you can see the recipe on the screen. So we've got a 20-ounce can of crushed pineapple, 3.5 tablespoons of corn flour. Some people call it cornstarch. That's the thickener. 1/2 cup of rinsed raw cashews. Remember we said we needed to wash cashews because they do get quite, they are dirty food. So we need to wash them. And also, did you know you're meant to keep your nuts in the fridge, actually? So when you buy them in the shop, they're actually in the wrong place. They need to be in the chiller because they last longer, and it obviously helps them not to go rancid. So ideally, all your nuts should be in the fridge and kept cool and chilled. Okay. Silken tofu. Get me silken tofu. Oh, please. Sorry. And then, oh no. Hang on a minute, we've got it here, the firm one, sorry. This is the super firm one rather than the firm one. Yep. you can see that. And then the next one was pineapple juice, which is in the kitchen, and some honey or maple syrup, which I've got here, and some lemon rind, or you can get the lemon extract, depending on which one you'd like, and a little bit of salt, which I've got here. Right, so
was there nuts as well, Kathleen? Foxy was asking.
Oh, hang on. Let me just check. Yes, I said raw rinsed cashews beforehand. Yeah. Yeah. So, with this, first of all, I made the crust, which is the nut crust, I think it's called on our sheet. Sweet nut. Oh no, sorry, wrong one. Sweet. Yeah, nut crust it was called. Sorry, it should be on your screen shortly. I'm going to do the base, which is nut crust. Thank you. Can you see that? Yeah. So, in a bowl, oh no, in the blender, sorry, put this in the blender first. The blender's getting some use today. So, we need the nut crust. I need one of those. So, in the blender, I'm going to put half a cup of unsweetened coconut. Remember, I said try and get the unsweetened coconut because some of them are sweetened already. We don't want to add sugar if we don't need it. So in the blender, I'm just going to make a smaller one today because I've already got the big one already there. So I'm going to make a smaller one because we don't need as much. And then I have the raw almonds. Again, I soaked these like we usually do, and they were easier to come off this shell, so that's fine. So I'm going to pop them in there, and I'll show you now that we've popped them in there now. So in the blender, I have the raw almonds, the desiccated coconut unsweetened, and then I'm going to add brown rice flour, which I managed to get hold of. Here we are. And I need half a cup in here. There we go. And then the salt, half a teaspoon, some guesstimating. And then we have some maple syrup. Oh no, hang on, we've got to blend this first, sorry, without the liquid. So let's blend these first. Pardon?
Plug it in.
Yes, I keep plugging myself in and plugging myself out, and then I'm scuppered. So let's blend this. Excuse me for the bit of noise. Mindful of the time as well, so just need to push them down again. There we go. Bit more mixing because the nuts are flying. I want everybody to be the same, and it's getting there. We just have some big nuts that have not been incorporated, but the majority of it's going, getting blended. bit of shape. It blended easier than this before, honestly. We only needed about two blends and it was done. But you get the idea anyway, even if I pop some in there. It's done. Last one. There we go. I'll leave it there. Most of them are incorporated anyway. So we have some larger ones, but ideally we want it to be kind of like a crumble mixture, but we've got some larger ones. I'll take them out. Then to this, we add the maple syrup and some water. The maple syrup is 2 tablespoons, but I'm going to just use my, which cup is it? The 1/4 cup, roughly 2 tablespoons. Because now we want to bring it together. Okay, and water. Here we are. And blend again. Just give it a quick stir first to help it on its way. Yeah, okay. Let's just tip it out in here. I'm going to unplug it before I drop it. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is put some at the base of the dish. After I've just give it a bit of stir in here. I'm going to pop it in there. Remember, it should be slightly too wet. The other one I did wasn't as wet as this. So maybe I've put a little bit too much. That's why you need to measure sometimes. Try and get the bits that haven't got the whole nuts in it. So just push it down. Give it a nice layer at the bottom. And then this ordinarily would be cooked, blind baked for 10 minutes. There we go. Get it flat and have no patches. Right, so that would be baked for 10 minutes and it wouldn't be as wet as that. That's a little bit wetter than I wanted it to be. So we're not going to have time to bake it because I'm looking at the time. So I'm going to make the blend. So I need to take this out because we're going to blend something else. So I won't get it super clean because they're all going in the same thing. I want to blend the pineapple with some of the other ingredients. That's that done. With it. So, sticky hands, which I don't like. Remember the quantities. So we can bring back up the cheesecake recipe now. So for this, we've got some crushed pineapples. And pop it in with the juice as well. Now, I ran out of pineapples. I didn't have enough pineapples in the tin. So I've just got the canned one. So if you've got the fresh, that's fine. But I just didn't have any in much pineapples. I won't put as much in this mixture as I've done with the other. then some corn flour or corn starch. That's fine. In here. The main thing, the cornstarch will thicken the juice, and then we will, I've got my measurements here. There we go. Shouldn't look like, oops. So it asks for 3.5, but I haven't got as much pineapple in here, so I'm not going to go as the recipe is because I've got less. I'm going to put just 1.5. There we go. I want it to thicken. Then to this we add the tofu. Sorry, the cashew, which is here. Blend. And the cashew was on the, oh, we've moved it off. The cashew was 1/2 cup. I've got a bit more than 1/2 cup there. That's fine. I know I'm using a lot of nuts and tofu, so I wouldn't ordinarily have all of this in 1 week. So don't think we don't want to overdose on cashews and almonds and tofu. This is not a normal week's menu, so please interchange your menus. Again, it's variety because it contains all the nutrients that we need rather than having the same thing all the time. Variety is the key when you're eating plant-based meals. I'm going to blend these and get them into a cream. And blend it until smooth. I'm going to plug myself in. I remembered without being reminded before I switch it on. So, go. Let's see what that looks like now. It should be thick and creamy. Yeah. See, it's creamy. I'm going to blend it a little bit more because it's not as smooth as I want it to be. Still little lumps in it. So that will go because we're going to blend the tofu in it in a short while. Okay. There it is. Blend again. It's fine. I don't have to have it thick, so I'm just going to speed up a little bit because I know the time's upon us. So I've got the tofu here. I've got the extra firm one or the super firm. I didn't know there was a super firm. I've seen extra firm, but it might be just the terminology of the actual company that wants to just be a bit different from the others. So remember, tofu hasn't really got any flavour. It's quite a bland product. So you have to flavour it the way you would like. So there we are.
Is there any reason why you're using the super firm?
Because we want the cheesecake to firm up rather than to be loose when it's baked. I'm just going to drain some of the water off. You can experiment with the firm, but I want to ensure that the cheesecake does kind of get thick and set when it's in the oven. So I'll pop it in here. The recipe does call for 2, but I'm only doing a little bit. So, and I got obviously adjust accordingly depending on how many you're cooking for. You don't have to do the whole lot. Heat it down a bit. I can smell the pineapple already.
Me too.
Blend it again. Smooth. Oh, really stuck my nose in. Right, that's blend.
Kathleen,
Yes.
I think it's Fox's. They're asking what alternatives could you use instead of cashews for somebody who has an allergy?
So just cashews, well, you can use the other nuts, and you can experiment with the sunflower seeds. I mean, there are other cheesecakes that don't use nuts, so that could be something you could explore, because you can get some raw ones, or you could use, you know, as I said, the other nuts that if you're not allergic to them. Or, there we go. And you can do the creamy ones where they use the coconut milk rather than nuts to set the cheesecake itself. So
if somebody has an allergy to nuts,
yes,
they could use
sunflower seeds.
sunflower seeds.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you just have to marry it a little bit. You can still use the coconut milk, but you'd have to put some coconut milk with the almonds or sunflower seeds if it's nuts, and then add the corn flour to thicken again still. Yeah. So now it does say now to add some lemon and maple syrup, add the remaining ingredients. So I've got the maple syrup here, I'm going to pour it in. And lemon. Or you could use honey if you wanted to. Lemon rind or lemon extract. So I'm going to do some rind here. There we go. Now we just take the yellow bit off the lemon, not the pith, because that's a bit bitter. So just a couple of rubs in the same place and then turn to another section of the lemon. I'm actually going to put some extract in as well because I quite like a lemony flavour to my cheesecakes as well. Oops. Just a quarter of a teaspoon. That's it.
What does the rind do?
It gives a lemony flavour. And if you can, try and get the organic lemon so you can grate the rind in it so you're not having some of the pesticides in your food, or wash it thoroughly with a veg wash or soaking it. Just let me blend this, excuse me. Now, can't remember, did I put the salt in? Did somebody remind me? No, I don't think I did. So we've got in here half a teaspoon. So that's a bit too much. That should be enough there. Just saw it on the table. Thought, I've not put that in. Right, okay, I think that would be it. I'll just check I've got everything in. Yep, yep, check. So I'm just going to cut the one that we've made earlier. So if you pop the recipe back up on this sheet, it's green. I'll just pour this in. Ready? Bear with me. Right. Let's see. And there, if we'd like to see. I'm just dressing the one I made earlier. Here's a portion of it. And I'm just going to pop some kiwi fruits on top, just to see what it looks like. So it does set. There we go. Oops, sliding down. There we go. And you can cut it and slice it. It's still a little bit warm because it came out of the oven earlier. It's not chilled thoroughly. So there we go. You can see the base of the pie crust, and then the tofu and the maple syrup, the cashews, lemon rind, lemon extract, and was there anything else? Pineapple juice and pineapples, all blended together. So it does set. Now experiment with the flavours, because I did have to put more pineapple and a bit more maple syrup in to get the flavour that I wanted before I actually baked it. I'm not going to pour the other one on because I want to bake the base before I do anything else and put the filling on top. So that is the baked pineapple or tofu cheesecake.
Kathleen, Brenda was asking how long to bake.
Oh, sorry. That's my fault. So I think it was 45 minutes. But test it. It does go a little bit crispy, so don't have your oven too high, because mine got a little bit crispy on the rim, but the middle bit was fine. That's why you've got a portion there rather than the whole thing. As you say, live TV and home cooked food. There you go. But it does set, so that's the main thing. But just experiment with the flavour, because I felt I needed a bit more pineapple and also a bit more flavouring, so the maple syrup in the main. So make sure when you make it, taste it first, because I think sometimes everybody's taste buds is a little bit different, but also it needs just a little bit more flavouring. You could put vanilla in there as well to give it a bit of body as well behind. So that's it for tonight. That's our menu. I think we've got a lot of food tonight for some reason, but we did a few dishes. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you try some of the ingredients. Please do, and let me know what you think, because everybody is, we want to be healthier and happier. So thank you for listening. So any questions, Basil? Is there anybody with anything in the chat? That's fine, because I don't know about you, but I'm hungry now looking at all this food. But I think it'll have to wait for tomorrow before I indulge. Because as I say, the cheesecake's still quite a little bit warm, and I don't know if people eat warm cheesecake. I don't. But the salad looks really appetizing. I don't know if you can see it just now, but it does look appetizing. So thank you once again for watching, and I hope I've got a few more fans from different parts of the world. That'll be nice. And local ones, of course. I don't mind the local ones. They're good as well. Keep them coming. So thank you. And at last we got the recipes to you, some of them. So hopefully we'll have the recipes tomorrow for what we're cooking tomorrow, which I haven't fully decided. I'm tossing up between another lemon pie, which is one of my other favourite dishes. Notice I've gone for the sweet things. Oh dear. But I do like lentils as well. So that's one of my favourites as well. So thank you. So I don't. And we talked about the lentils, didn't we? The beluga lentil, and the pie, cauliflower, broccoli, and lentil pie. So thank you once again.
Am I on, Del? No, not yet. All right, I am. Well. What a night. Cheesecake, rice and peas, salad, pineapple, cheesecake. Oh man, I wish, genuinely wish that you all lived in Manchester because you could get to taste this food. However, because you're not in Manchester, what I will do is I will taste it for you and I will let you know how it tastes. In fact, before we go, I know we've gone over a list. The chat, if what you could do for me, what's been your favorite recipe so far? What's been your favorite meal that's been prepared since Sunday evening? What's been your favorite? Morvia, I see. In fact, I need to shout out to Morvia because she sent me a picture today, and the picture was of the chia pudding, but I think Morvia had it as a breakfast. Sound has gone. Whoops, sound has gone down. They can't hear me. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? No sound. Sound's gone. Can you hear me now?
Just, yeah, I can hear you now.
Excellent. We're back. So what I was saying is, unfortunately, because I know that some of you are not in Manchester, I'm going to taste the food for you, as I have been doing every night. And yesterday, I think today, I had the curry that was cooked last night. It was fantastic, fantastic. What I want you to do, because you heard that bit. What I want you to do is put in the chat, what has been your favorite recipe that we've gone through? What has been your favorite recipe? Was it the cheesecake? Was it the quiche? Was it the rice and peas? What has it been? Got a few moments. Anyone? As I was saying, Morvia, I need to give you a shout out because Morvia sent me a picture of the chia pudding that she had for breakfast. And I believe it's nice. Also, what I want you to do is I drive and I'm willing to drive anywhere in the UK to taste your food. Anywhere in the UK, I'm willing to drive to taste your food. All I need is your address. So if you can private message me your address, then I will come and I will taste your food. Brenda, I know that you're not even in the UK, you're in America. So if you're willing to send me a plane ticket, then I can come all the way to the US and taste your food. If not, then I'm stuck in England, I'm stuck in Manchester, I'm stuck in Sheffield. But thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so very much. Without you, this program just wouldn't be the same. We'd still have the same amount of food, but it just wouldn't be the same without you. So what we're going to do, we're going to pray. Thank you so much, Kathleen. Oh, I'm muted again. Oh. Am I back? No, I'm muted. Can you take my avatar off, please? We still, can you hear me now? Yeah. Hello? Can you hear me now? Sound's gone. Okay. We're going to pray. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, just about.
You're back.
Okay, we're back. Yeah, I think the technology is hungry. It's smelling all the food. So let's pray and we will see you again tomorrow evening. As I said, 7 p.m. British summertime and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And wherever you are else in the world, please do work it out. And we hope to see you tomorrow evening. So let's pray. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for all that you've done. We thank you for the wonderful variety of food that we've been seeing over the last few days. Dear Father, I pray that you'll bless all those that are going to try the different recipes. I pray that it will come together and that their taste buds will be excited by the foods that you have provided in plant-based, in plant form. So bless us now. Give us a good evening, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow evening.
Andre, can I ask something
Yes?
quick? For the recipes you put on the screen tonight, could you email them out?
Yeah, all of the recipes that were on the screen and that we haven't seen will be emailed out.
I mean, tonight, just the ones tonight. That's all. That's what.
Oh, okay.
If
Let me
not,
see what I
that's
can
fine.
do.
It's
Yeah,
too much.
the techie guy is telling me yes, he can get it to me, and I will email them out. Are you going to try it for this weekend, Morvia?
That's my intention. Yes.
Okay,
Especially
so don't forget to send me your address. Yeah.
Listen, when I get the food from Manchester, then you can have my address. Okay.
Well, I need the address to send to bring the food to you.
Morvia, feel free to host a dinner party. I'll be there.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Okay. I'll bear it in mind. Have a good evening,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
You guys take care. Thanks for coming again. Bye-bye.
Night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.